Yeah, go back to this snowstorm. Yeah.
You guys found out.
Hi there, how's everybody today?
Go back to this time.
Good. How are you doing?
Feeling good.
Awesome.
Right, can you all see the PowerPoint?
I can see the PowerPoint, yes.
Awesome, okay. Are we waiting? Do you feel like we've got the majority of the group?
What have we got in here? Sandy, Mel, Nikki,
Yeah, it's a
Tiffany.
few missing, but that's okay, since it's being recorded.
Yeah, it's recorded, so they can catch it later.
We can catch it later.
Okay, all right, well then let's just jump right in because I know we've got a lot to cover here today. Thanks so much to everyone for joining us. We obviously are recording already. My name is Emily. I'm with Amplifund, and we'll be taking you through our training today. Delighted to have you here with us. We've got a lot of things on our agenda as we go through today's session. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask them. We would request that you pop them in the chat. So if you hover across the bottom of your screen, there's a black Zoom bar with a chat option, and you can go ahead and just type any questions in there, and we'll address them while we are on the screen. With that, we're going to start with just a couple very brief slides, and then I do want to let you know that in the appendix of the PowerPoint that we're in right now, we've got a lot of step-by-step guides and screenshots on how to do everything that we'll cover today. So we'll go relatively quickly through Amplifund, but we've got a lot of available support resources to help you as you get started here. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and just dive right into a couple slides. One is just to remind you that Amplifund is a web-based platform. You can use it anywhere that you have an internet browser, but it does need to be one of these four and the most current supported release. During today's session, you'll see me use Chrome, and we encourage that for the best experience. I believe the team has already activated your award, so you probably already saw an email come through that looks like this.
Hey, Matt, Emily, I don't know if your current slide was showing with all those browsers.
Oh, what? Are you not seeing?
It could be on the other desktop. I'm just seeing the overall slideshow. There you go.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so let me go back here. Sorry, I must have been advancing on the wrong screen. We'll go back here. This is our agenda for today, and again, we do have lots of items to cover. We do have screenshots of all these in our appendix today. The four browsers that I just mentioned are Chrome, Firefox, Edge, or Safari. Again, the most current supported release. And then I was just here on our award activation email. You probably all already received this as the team already activated your awards. This email comes from no-reply@gotomygrants.com, and it includes the link for you to log into Amplifund and set up your password. And then this is how you will access your award in Amplifund. So with that, we are going to go ahead and dive right into Amplifund and walk you through the navigation and what to expect. So first, when you log into Amplifund, you'll land on this calendar home screen. Any of your tasks will appear on this calendar, and that will help you keep track of any upcoming tasks that you need to complete. In the upper right-hand corner is your user menu. If you need to change your password or get back to the applicant portal, if you submitted your application and want to check that out, you can get there through your user password. Also in the upper right-hand corner are action-oriented icons. You can subscribe to your Amplifund calendar to get tasks on your Outlook or Gmail calendar. You can also submit a support ticket directly from Amplifund. So if you have any questions or run into any issues, you can click that eye icon to submit a support ticket. And yes, great question. It is the same login that you did your application with. So your same email address and password. And you'll log into gotomygrants.com. Or you can click on the link in the email that you received. Also on the home screen, I'll point out the Amplifund logo in the bottom left-hand corner. This is our resource center, and it contains a number of valuable guides and product walkthroughs to help you through many of the tasks that we're going to go through today. I'm going to use this to walk you through how to add new users to your account. There's also a number of guides under this recipient grant management section, such as how to add a grant manager, how to add expenses, and other tasks that you'll complete. These are super helpful just to come back to anytime you come in Amplifund to make sure that you're following the steps correctly. So one of the first things that we'll do is we'll walk you through how to add users. If you need to add additional users to your account, you can do this. You manage your own user base. This is done under the administration section and then system security. And using the guide, it'll automatically direct you to that location. To add a new user, you would click the plus icon, and our handy guide here is going to walk us through this. You'll then configure their settings. We encourage leaving the emails on. This reminds you of any upcoming tasks. If they may collaborate with you on other applications in the future, you can give them applicant portal access. You'll enter their user information, which first name, last name, and email address are required. The rest is optional. And then you'll click create. And the pop-ups here will help guide you through those steps. After you click create, there is another step to invite the user by clicking this mail icon, which is in the upper right-hand corner. This will invite them and send them that invitation where they can set up their password. And so just like that, the walkthrough guide, which again was under the Resource Center, and then recipient onboarding and user management can help you go through those steps for how to add a new user. All right, so that's a little bit about adding users to your account. One of the next tasks that you may want to do is to go visit your grant and assign a grant manager. And so you can do that, use our recipient grant manager guides and our recipient grant manager assignment. So again, this will walk you through how to do that. And you would go to the grant management section. So we're going to go to grants, grant management, and then we're going to click on grants. This is going to take you to the grant award page. This will have any and all grants that have been awarded to you by the county. You're going to go ahead and click on the grant name here. And then to add your grant manager, you're going to click on the edit pencil in the upper right-hand corner of your grant. And we'll talk about this grant details page here in just a minute. The recipient grant manager is the individual who will receive all notifications about this award. So as things are approved or rejected, this individual would receive those notifications. It does need to be a pre-existing user. So that first step we went through of how to add users is super important. And we do have the guide linked here about how to add users. And then your last step is to click save. So that is a good task to get done at the beginning, is assigning that recipient grant manager so that you've got the person that you want to receive email-based notifications already assigned to this grant. All right, so we're on our grant details page. And just in case you need a reminder, the navigation of how we got here is grant management and then grants, and then we clicked on our award name. The grant details page that we're on here is really your guide for how you'll move through other actions throughout the system And it's also how you can see a quick status update about your grant. So there's valuable information that's been assigned by the county here, including your award name, your grant funded amount, your match requirement. And then these fields will begin to be filled out, so your expenses to date, as you start to actually enter your expenses in Amplifund. You can also find your award start and end date in here as well. All right, we're going to start on the financial side now with how to review your budget and then how to enter expenses and submit your reporting period. So first, to find your grant budget, you would go to this grant record and then you would click on the post award tab in the ribbon at the top. Then you would click financial and then you would click budget. So we're on the grant, we went to post award, financial, and then budget. This will take you to the budget page. The first time you come to this page, you will need to check on the line items to see the line item detail here. There are some other show hide options here. So you may also want to check on the match if your grant has match included, if you want to see your match contribution amount. And then once you start adding your expenses, you likely want your actuals and your remaining columns here on this page. And this will retain your selection, so you don't have to recheck these each time. But this is how you can see your budget category. And if you hover, you can see that budgeted amount. And then you can also see your budget line item with the individual detail here. You can enter your expenses directly from this screen by clicking on the dollar icon next to any of these budget line items. Or you can also access our expense module via the activity dropdown and then expenses. We're going to go just directly from here. So I'm just going to go ahead and click this dollar icon. And it's going to take me to Amplifund's expense module. And it has pre-filled my grant, my category, and my line item based on what I clicked on the budget. And then I'm going to come down here and I'm going to click on the plus icon to create an expense. And again, my grant, my category, and my line item are already pre-selected based on where I started in the budget. Now, if I accidentally clicked on the wrong line item, I can go ahead and change any of these from these dropdowns. And then I would go ahead and put my expense amount in my direct cost. And we're going to do two examples today. We'll do one that is a fully grant funded expense, and then we'll do a match example as well. So this is a $500 grant funded expense, and I'm putting my $500 in my direct cost. I'm going to go ahead and put my expense date here from the calendar. And then it is very important that you put your expense as reviewed. Only the reviewed expenses will be submitted in your reporting period. So you do need that status of reviewed. And then if you want to share any additional details with the county, there's a spot for you to put description here as well, or payee information. But use that to provide the county any additional detail that you may need to. And then you can go ahead and click create. And then we'll see my expense generate right here. Now, if you made an error or need to make some type of change, like perhaps this is actually a $505 expense, I can click my edit pencil. I can come back in here and I can make a change because it is in the reviewed status, and I can click save. Your expenses will be locked after you submit them though. So this edit pencil will go away in the future as we talk about that submission process. And so now let's go ahead and enter one other expense here. So I'm going to click the plus icon again. Maybe I'll go ahead and change my category here and my line item. And I'm going to put my expense amount in, my expense date. I'm going to change my status to reviewed. I'm going to come over here to the financials tab, which is where you would enter any match amount. And I'm going to put that maybe this is a half of this. little too many zeros there. Half of this is a match expense. So I'm matching half the grant fund. So to get to that match entry, I clicked on the financials tab. And then in this case, I'm updating my cash match amount. And then I would click create. This is also if your grant has in-kind or other funding set up, this is also where you do that. And then we'll see my expense generate here as well. If I switch categories. So I'm filtered on this page to the batteries category. I'll go ahead and flip it to the personnel so we can see that. So that is the expense entry process. The next step in the financial process would be to go ahead and submit your reporting period to the county. And that is how they know that you're done entering expenses for the quarter. And it will trigger an automatic notification to the county so that they can then go in and review your expenses. And it does lock your expenses. So how you do that is from this tab up here at the top. We're going to go to post-award, management, and then reporting period. If you lost this ribbon up here at the top, you can get back to there by going to grant management, grants, clicking on the grant name, and then this will appear. So again, post-award, management, and then reporting period. I would then click the plus icon in the upper right-hand corner to submit a reporting period. I'm working on my expenses right now, so I'll go ahead and click expenses. I will go ahead and select my time period. So my quarter, I just entered some January expenses. So I'm going to select this and then I'll click save. This will pop up a screen where you can review your total expenses that you've entered. So I just entered $1,505 of expenses. So this is a double check for you here. This will also help remind you if you accidentally forgot to put any in the reviewed status. So if this was populated with a number, you'll want to go adjust those expenses to a reviewed status in order for them to pull into this reporting period. If you need to submit any documents or comments, you can do so here. And then you can scroll down to the bottom, and really the only action you need to do is to click close. So you are closing out the period. This will submit a notification to the county that you've closed the reporting period. It will also make your expenses not editable. So after you do this, you won't be able to make any changes to your expenses unless the county rejects the reporting period. And so then you're going to go ahead and click close. You may at this point want to pop back to the calendar and just mark your tasks. I'm going to go back to activity and calendar. Mark your task as complete. So at the end of each quarter, you have a budget tracking period task due. You can click on it directly from the calendar. So this is going to remind you that this reporting is due, and you can mark it complete directly from the calendar, and it'll change from green to gray. Okay, so that is submitting your expenses. The other piece that on the financial side that the county is asking you to complete is to upload a copy of your invoice template rather than emailing it. And so how you'll do that is you'll go to grant management and then grants. We're going to go back to our grant name, or if you had it there, if you're already on that page, that works. Back here to our ribbon at the top, and then you're going to click on this custom drop down and this invoice submission. And then you'll click on the plus icon in the upper right-hand corner. You will upload a copy of your document. So you just click this choose file option, and then you can just upload the existing document that you submit today. And then we've got just the ability for you to put the quarter and the year here. We just need to have some other fields here. You got two options. You can save this as a draft, which really just saves it in your account, or you can submit it, which will trigger a notification to the county. So to Sandy, Nalani, and team, that you've submitted this, and then they will have access to your file and to be able to download it. And then you'll be able to see here that that's been submitted. Now, if you've accidentally submitted the wrong form or something like that, they can reject this back to you and send you a notification with comments, and then you can resubmit. Okay, so we've gone through the financial processes. There's a couple of different steps here, so I'm just gonna review those to make sure we are all tracking. So first, we went to post-award financial and then budget. And this is where we found our, from our grant, this is where we found our budget categories and line items. We then went and entered our expenses in the expense module by clicking on that dollar icon. So we then, in the Amplifund expense module, we entered our expenses by clicking that plus icon. Then we submitted our reporting period, which was under post-award management and then reporting period. And we closed that reporting period so that it triggered a notification to the county that our expenses are complete. And then we came back here to the same grant and we did our invoice submission under this custom dropdown. So those cover the 3 key steps of the financial process. And I'm just going to hop back to this grant details page here. We'll see some of those updates here on this page. So now that I've entered some expenses and match contributions, I see here on my page my total expenses here. Now, I will note Amplifund does have payment request functionality that you're not using. So these dollar figures will all stay as 0. This custom where you're uploading a document will not translate to these. So these will just stay as 0, but do know that your expense totals will update on this page. All right, so with that, we're gonna go ahead and switch to the performance achievement submission process as well. So you can do this 2 ways. You can go via the post-award performance and performance plan option. The other option is leveraging this activity dropdown. So remember, our expense module is here. You can also get to your achievements, so activity and then achievements. We'll show this way this time. So here you'll see a list of your performance goals that need to be completed for your grant. So you may have many more than this. We just have a couple examples here. To add an achievement, you'll click the plus icon next to the goal to create that achievement. You have a couple different goal types. So some of them may be milestone, where you're just entering an achievement date. So whatever date you accomplish something. You have a spot to put notes and upload files, and then you would click create. Other goal types that you may have to respond to might be narrative. The steps would be the same. You'd click the plus icon to create your achievement. You can adjust the achievement date as needed, and then you would put your answer to whatever question is being asked. You have the ability to mark it as complete. You can put notes and upload files, and then you would click create. And then you can just continue working your way through each of the goals. Again, adjusting the achievement date as needed, entering your answer, and then marking items as complete or uploading files. So you would go through each of the goals that are listed for your grant on a quarterly basis, I believe, is the reporting expectation. And so you'd enter all of those achievements, and then just like we did on the financial side, your next step is going to be to submit that achievement reporting period. So to do that, we're going to go back. We need our grant menu. So we're going to go grant management and then grant. And we're going to go ahead and click on our grant name. And then we're going to go to post-award, management, and then reporting periods again. And then we're going to click on the plus icon in the upper right-hand corner. And then this time we're going to click achievements because we're doing our performance achievements. We're going to select our time period from the dropdown. And again, I was doing January, so we'll go ahead and select that period. And then we're going to click save. This then populates, again, a reminder screen of what you have entered. So this is a great double check. This will tell you here the number of goals with no achievement. So goals where you didn't enter anything. I only entered a couple this time. So I have 2 goals where I didn't put any achievements. And so you can get back to those by clicking on this, this 2 to complete your other uploads. This grid here will also show you your achievements to date. So I entered 1 for these 3 during this period. And it'll also show you the date of your last achievement down here. Otherwise, you should not change anything on this page. You want to leave these all checked. And then again, your action here is to click the close button because you're closing out this period, and it will submit a notification to your funder, to the county to review your performance achievements. And then you can go ahead and click close again, and it will generate that email to them. Okay, so those are the steps. You may want to go back to your calendar at this point and then check off your tasks that we've also done our performance reporting. So again, every quarter you've got a task for budget tracking and performance tracking, and I'm going to go ahead and mark our performance tracking as complete. So those are the required tasks that you need to complete in Amplifund. We're going to transition and show you how to submit amendments should you need to. And then also some of the reporting and just other capabilities of Amplifund. So let's start with amendments. So I'm going to go back to my grant, so grant management and then grants. And I'm going to click on my report name, or excuse me, my grant name here. And if you need to submit an amendment request to the county, you're going to go to post-award, management, and then amendment. So again, that's post-award, management, amendment. And then we're going to click on the plus icon to create a new amendment. In talking with the team, it sounds like most of the time you all are just submitting budget amendments. So you could select that option. You do double click here. So you need to click on the circle and the category budget option in order to submit this. You'll have an option for your amendment name, the amendment date, and then you can check off whatever categories you're requesting a change to. And it's important to note this is a request to change. The system will trigger back based on the county's decision, an approved or denied email to the grant manager that you assigned at the beginning. So I've checked off these 2 categories. Let's maybe say that I want to change this to $13,000. It's telling me my current total budget here and my current total actuals. And say we'll just say we want to change this $22,000. You can put the justification here, including any line item changes in this box. It is important to include those details here in this justification. If you need to upload files, you can upload them here under this file section. And then once you're ready to submit, you would click the submit button and then submit again. And that will submit your amendment to the county for their review and their decision. And then again, the grant manager that you listed on the details page will receive an email back indicating if that was approved or denied. While we've got our grant menu up here, we will just also point out that under the tools option and then documents, if you need to send or upload any other documents to the county, you're welcome to use this documents section. Anything that you put inside this public folder, so you need to go tools, documents, and then also click on this public link here, the county is able to see. So if there's other documents that you need to share with them, you could upload them in here. Do note this doesn't trigger automatic notifications, so you might need to let them know unless the team has like specifically requested you upload a document in here. To upload a document, once you're in this public folder, again, you need to be inside the public folder, you would go ahead and click on this upload option, and then it'll just pop up with a file selector and then you would select the option from your computer. All right, so that is a little bit about amendments and uploading documents. The next thing that we're going to go through are just a couple reports that you have access to that might be beneficial for your organization as you're managing your grant. And actually, before I do that, I'm going to go back here to our post-award financial and budget. This is actually the best way to keep track of your, to report out internally and keep track of that remaining amount. So remember here at the beginning, I tagged on my actuals and my remaining column. Now these aren't all zeros since we added some expenses. So I added a $500 expense here, actually 500 grant funded, 500 match under my technician. So I can also now see my grant funded remaining and my total remaining has changed. So this is a great view for that budget to actual view of your grant. Also under reporting, we have a grant budget variance report. It's a very similar view, but if you need to export to PDF or Excel, that's a great way to do it. So that's under post-award and grant budget variance. Here you can filter by that grant. Again, you'll see your budget categories, your budget line items, and all those details here. And you can export this to PDF, Excel, rich text, or CSV. The other report that may be helpful for you is also under reports and then post-award. We have a grant performance plan detail report. So looking at that, those performance goals and achievements that we entered earlier here today, you can see those details here on this report. So if you need to export that or share it with anyone at your organization, there's some filtering options on the right-hand side. And again, you can export this to Excel, PDF, rich text, or CSV. The other common request we hear is just the ability to export expenses. So you can do that under the post-award menu again, and the grant expense detail. Here you can get to a list of all those expenses that you've entered in Amplifund. So you can filter by the grant, you can filter by category or line item. There's a variety of columns that you can add or remove to this view, and it also has those export options. Additionally, back under our expense module that we were under earlier, you can also export your expenses off this grid as well. Hey, all right, so I'm gonna hit on, hopefully you're thinking of lots of questions because we definitely have time for some questions. Again, if you have questions, go ahead and hover across the black bar at the bottom of your screen and go to the chat and feel free to start typing in any questions. While you're thinking of those, I'm just gonna hit on a couple reminders here. The one in the upper right-hand corner, this eye icon is throughout Amplifund, and this is where you can submit a support ticket. So if you run into any type of issue or have a question you don't know how to answer, you can submit a support ticket to our support team. They answer tickets Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern time. and have about a 2-hour response time. Additionally, if you need help, we talked about at the beginning, the resource center here in the bottom left-hand corner. We went through a couple onboarding guides here, like the navigation and how to add users to your account. Also under this recipient grant management section are assigning your grant manager, an overview of our expense module, an overview of the performance achievements, how to close reporting periods, how to submit amendments, how to use custom forms, which is what the county is going to have you use to submit that invoice field, form, excuse me. So all of these are here for you to click through, and they walk through those steps that we just talked about. You can also access our support site directly from here. So you can click that support option and you can type user and this also, or whatever, whatever topic, and this gives you lots of different options here for maybe how to add a user or user navigation guides, etc. So it's another great way to get support. You can also submit a ticket or leave our support team a message here via this button. Okay, so with that, I'm going to go back to our slides here for just a moment and just review those required actions that we went through today. So the first is make sure you've logged into Amplifund and that you add any relevant users to your account and invite them, clicking that mail icon to invite them. You're also going to want to go into your grant and assign the recipient grant manager. That is the individual who will receive those email-based notifications. You're going to want, as you get to the end of each quarter, to enter your expenses and submit your budget reporting period. Under the custom tab of your grant is where you're going to submit your invoice copy to the county. You'll want to mark your task as complete for budget reporting period. You will also on a quarterly basis enter your performance achievements and also close out the performance reporting period. You may want to sync your calendar with Amplifund, and that's back on the calendar screen. We showed the icon to sync your calendar. You can also review the available reports that we talked about today and visit our support site for additional assistance. I will go ahead and I'm just gonna share out so that you can take a look here at some of the screens that will be in the appendix. Just a second. Switch here. Here we go. So in the appendix of this deck, you'll see some slides like this. So we'll be sharing this recording and this deck with the county. This walks through those steps that we just talked about during our session today with pictures as well. So this is a resource for you to kind of leverage this as you maybe also have questions. Okay, so with that, let's go ahead and open it for questions because that covers the content we had prepared for today. Feel free to go ahead and type any questions that you might have in the chat. Nalani, so the amendment functionality, the recipients will need to submit an amendment if that's your business process for changes to the budget, because I think you do have it turned off so that they can't edit the budget. The budget, it will not trigger a request to amend them. If there is capability on your side as the funder, if you don't want them to be able to enter expenses above the budgeted amount, you as a funder can put an expense cap on those line items, and we can share out with you how to do that. But the amendment piece, they would have to kind of do that on their own. It won't auto trigger. Okay, what other questions can we answer today? You definitely have plenty of time, so if you have questions, please don't be shy. Nilani or Sandy, was there anything that you wanted to add or re-emphasize with the group?
Thanks for your endless patience as we bring on all these wonderful pieces that Amplifund can offer us. And thanks to you guys, Amplifund, for helping us get through this.
Absolutely. Yeah, we are delighted to see you leverage this. And to that end, to everyone on the call, please don't hesitate to reach out to our support team if you run into a question. We have a lot of resources. We showed many of them today with that resource center and these materials to help make you successful and to make this a smooth process. But know that you know, there's often a learning curve, so don't hesitate to reach out for support. We are happy to assist just to make you as successful as possible with using this. And yes, we will be sharing the recording and these slides. We have not gotten any other questions in the chat, so we will not make everyone sit in silence. So if you have any questions, feel free to type them in. Otherwise, thanks very much, everyone, for attending today. And again, I've got a couple slides here with our support site, but I'll also just pop up a quick thank you. Thanks for attending and have a wonderful rest of your day. And don't hesitate to reach out if we can be of support. All right. Well, with that, we'll wrap things up. Thanks, everyone, and have a great day.